10 seconds to go, folks. Enjoy. For the win.
AKBZ, you fired up.
All right. Hello, welcome to episode 8 of Rhody Rumble. I'm Adam Bernstein. I'm joined by Montana Friselli. And today we have a special guest. We have Stanford Robinson joining us. He's originally from Landover, Maryland, and he attended Finlay Prep. Stan committed originally to Indiana, where he played for 2 seasons. And after 2 seasons, he decided to transfer to the University of Rhode Island. He was a part of the 2017 Rams team that won the Atlantic 10 Conference Tournament and the 18 team that won the regular season championship under Coach Dan Hurley. Stan spent some time in the G League following college, and he's now an entrepreneur. How are we doing today, Stan?
Man, I'm doing well, man. Like I said, thank you again for having me on Rhody Rumble. I'm excited to be here, man. I'm excited.
Hey, we're excited to have you, man. So the golden question that we got for you, and we asked to everybody that comes on, being an athlete myself, you being an athlete, being a student, being whatever you are, everybody has a why they do something. What is your why? What is your motivation? What keeps the engine going?
Man, it's kind of like how I grew up, where I came from. I didn't grow up with much. That's nothing to like harp on, but when you don't come from much and you got all these big dreams, me myself, I dream big. That's one thing that I can say that was instilled into me at a young age, was to believe I can do whatever I wanted. Just having that drive to do, knowing that I can do whatever I want. I feel like other people, they struggle with their talents and their gifts. So my thing is just to impact people, man. That's the biggest thing that keeps me going, is literally to say, hey, I played a part in changing that person's life. So I try to use my God-given gifts and talents at the best of my ability, and try to impact and change as many lives as I can.
That's awesome, man. And that's what it's about, man. Especially being an athlete, being a part of a team. You don't play for yourself. You play for the people that are next to you. You play for your brothers.
Exactly.
And coming out of high school, you had a long list of offers. What led you to picking Indiana?
Man, I'm not growing. Well, I have an older brother, but he wasn't around when it came to me growing up and being athletic and things like that. So I didn't really have that luxury of watching somebody's process. So there was a lot of noise, when it came to making a decision. And I don't regret any decision I ever made. But it was a lot of he say, she say that played a part in my decision making, which was something I should have, I wish I wouldn't have did. But at the end of the day, like I said, every decision I made was a decision I was 100% happy with making, and it all played out for the best.
And so, when you look back on that, do you think that it for sure was a good stepping stone towards the person you are today, or do you think that it brought you backwards a little bit? How do you, when you look back on that decision to go to Indiana and play 2 seasons there, how do you think it affects your life now a little bit?
Oh man, it's just, it's literally, if you really researched and really dug some dirt up on me, you can see that, as a person, I had some struggles, coming up in my collegiate years, but, the reason I feel like I went to Indiana, and the reason why my alignment was to go to Indiana, was simply because I had growing up to do as a person, not as an athlete. Because you can look at what I was doing in high school, and you could see like athletics was not the issue. It was what was off the court, and that was me growing up as a person. And so if I would have made a decision to go to Villanova, might have had a great year. We might win the championship, it's cool. But at the end of the day, I've grown as a person, and the person I was, me, being able to win a championship, potentially going to the NBA. Come on now. If I wasn't growing up as a person, I wouldn't even have lasted. I wouldn't even have lasted. So, I'm very happy with the route that I went, because most importantly, I grew up as a person, and we all know the ball stops at some point.
Exactly. And you were able to make that change to enter the transfer portal and come here to my home state, baby, Rhode Island.
Yeah,
My hometown, Kingston. I remember when you came, I was like 15 or 16 years old, man, and we were amped to see you, man. So what was that like?
man. Originally I was actually committed to go to VCU.
Mm-hmm.
No one knew, but I verbally had committed to VCU. But the relationship I had with Coach Cox, he was actually my first college offer at Rutgers. I think I was going into ninth grade. I know I just started high school. It was like the first summer, and I had got a college offer from Coach Cox, actually. And he's actually from Landover. That's the crazy thing. He's actually from Landover, so the relationship runs deep. So I couldn't really just verbally commit to VCU and not even go look at Rhode Island. You know what I mean? I felt like I owed him that at least. And when I got there, I don't know if anyone's, before they went to Rhode Island, before they actually went to the state of Rhode Island, I don't know if anyone's actually, did really knew what Rhode Island was. And that was one of them. I didn't even know where Rhode Island was at the time. But when I got there, it's like a whole, I love Rhode Island. I love Rhode Island. The feel and the atmosphere in Rhode Island is unmatched. And I've been to a lot of places, but Rhode Island is just like a home feel. And me being away all my life, having that home feel, it felt great to be around. So that's kind of what won me over, was the atmosphere
there. Mm-hmm. I'm going to roll into it.
Yeah. So what was it like playing under that coaching staff with Coach Hurley, and who's such a highly respected coach in the college basketball world, and Coach Cox, who's now the head coach?
Mm-hmm. It's crazy because I actually played for Tom Crean, and I played for Coach Hurley, and I played for Coach Cox. And just in that moment of playing for them, I didn't understand them at all. Coach Hurley, I was kind of starting to grow up a little bit, so I started to understand more. But I definitely, from what they were, the value that they were producing, I was not receiving it at a high level. And that's the one thing I kind of regret, is playing for them was a blessing in disguise, because a lot of people don't know that your mind is the strongest weapon on earth, right? Your mind is the strongest thing ever. And a lot of people don't understand that. And that's what Coach Hurley and Coach Tom Crean and Coach Cox, they were trying to instill into me, and not only me, but my teammates that were around at the time. These are things that were being instilled in us. And I, like I said, as you said earlier, I'm in entrepreneurship, so I have a business, right? Over 100 people all over the world, right? And it's so crazy because now the biggest thing that I teach, the number one thing that I teach is mindset, right? Is building up people's minds and showing them how they can really understand and control their mind, because it's literally the strongest weapon. And for that to be given to us, at that time, I'm so mad at myself for letting that go over my head like that, because they were literally positioning us right then and there. It's crazy. So playing for them, that's what it speaks of. That's the type of value that you're receiving from these individuals. So shout out Coach Hurley, man. Shout out Coach Cox, and definitely Coach Tom Crean as well too.
Oh man. So give us a little glimpse. The first time you played in a Rhode Island uniform, what was it like for you personally, that personal experience? How did you perceive, the ruckus? How did you perceive the Ryan Center? And just to be on a new team and kind of like a fresh start in the middle of college?
Man, my first time putting on the Rhody uniform, it felt good, man. It felt good because it was just like, I kind of knew a little bit what it meant to actually put on a uniform for a state. Like college basketball is not just basketball. It has so much meaning behind it. So, understanding what it meant, like really feeling like what it feels to have people, rooting for you and really behind you, it felt good. And the deeper I just got into my career, it meant a whole lot more. it meant a whole lot more every game that went past, every day that went past, and me just being out there. It just meant so much more, and it got so deep when I put that uniform on each and every game.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it like those 2 seasons? You guys made March Madness runs both those years. What was that experience like going to the tournament? And just
Man, the tournament, it was crazy. It was crazy. You know, fortunately, I was able to be there one time with Indiana my sophomore year. So, going into that, I kind of had a little vet feel because I wasn't caught up with the lights, the cameras, just all of all of the details that came with it. I wasn't caught up into that this time around. So I felt more prepared. I felt like, a little bit more seasoned in that atmosphere. So I could really give a lot of value and just, help people control their emotions and helping them, really put their mind in the right place in a time like that. Because you can easily get distracted just from that atmosphere. It gives you a sense of I made it, right? And then that's the best time to get, the worst time actually to get comfortable. So, just trying to prevent that from happening. And we did, and we handled it well. And from that, you seen the results. It was crazy. It was crazy both times. Both times.
I remember watching you guys play Oklahoma, man, and just like I think we were at school, like it was a daytime game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was a daytime.
Yeah, I just remember. I remember watching like all my friends and like, man, you guys. Right towards the end of the game, man, we were just like, oh man, they're gonna win, they're gonna win, they're gonna win, and it happened. Yeah, I mean, to do that for the first time at Rhode Island in 20 years, I guess coming back, knowing that you guys got something accomplished, but yet the void wasn't really filled yet. Your goal obviously is to win every game that's in front of you. What was the learning? What was the learning lesson coming back from that tournament loss? You guys lost to Duke. I know that, and what was that feeling coming back off the plane and being like, man, like we got something done, but it's not really, it's not done yet.
Man, it's something that I didn't actually really reflect on it until now. And it's crazy because one of my mentors told me, like, you don't know what you don't know, right? He always says you never got it, you're always getting it. And so now when I relate that to what actually happened in both times, seeing the way that we lost, we lost because of, things that were said in practice day in and day out, day in and day out. And now come game time when we need it the most, we lose because of it, because we didn't take those certain key points serious, because, times and time again, when it was being said, we're half listening, and it comes back to haunt you. So, just always understanding that you never got it, you always getting it, you don't know what you don't know. And if you can stay in that mind frame, you can do way better than what we did, right? Way better, because we were just, man, at one point in time, we were kind of just going out there and we just had confidence at that time. We had so much confidence, and it was a blessing and a curse, because now, because of that confidence, again, things that were being said over and over and over, we have listening because of the confidence. So, blessing and a curse.
So I gotta ask. I mean, I've been wanting to ask you this question since we just talked about you coming on the podcast. But hitting that corner three when you guys were ranked 24 against the corner buzzer beater three against Duquesne. Just walk me through that experience. What was that like?
Man, it was a crazy experience, man. I'm not even gonna lie, it was kind of a blur leading up to that point. But then now when we were in the huddle, I remember him drawing it out. And then I remember like just wanting to win. And I just was like, you know what? I'm gonna just do everything that I can for us to win. I'm gonna do my best in this last possession. And then I just started thinking about like, damn, could we really lose this game? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we really about to go undefeated? And I just did what I was supposed to do. The defense collapsed. I went to the corner. And then at that time, it was just like being in the gym again. Because, everybody knows that I was always in the gym. So at that point in time, it was just like getting a rep up. and I just let the rest happen. No thought about it, no nothing. Just do what I always been doing at night. Getting them reps in, and it showed, and it showed at the right time. And it was a great feeling to have because I always wanted a game winner. I don't even think, can't remember, but I don't never think I hit a game winner. I think that was my first and only game winner, I think. You know what I'm saying? So that was cool. Actually, no, in high school I hit something, but it was cool though. It was cool. I'm telling you that it's no feeling like that because when you're in the gym, you always 5, 4, 3, 2. You know what I mean? And so for it to really happen in the way it happened, like right on the money, hey man, that's definitely a memory I'm never gonna forget.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
That's definitely, and that's what college basketball is almost always about, and not just college basketball, but any sport.
Yeah, college athletics.
College athletics in general is about, you know what I mean? You put in all this work. I mean, college athletes, you go through everything. I mean, early morning wake ups, going to practice, you got class, training table, meetings, film, and the work on your own. You got to do your own stuff. You got to be in there after hours, and it's all about paying off. And I feel like when you dedicate your time to to the craft's going to dedicate that right back to you, and it's going to come at the right moment.
Of course, like look what you just said. You did class, weights, practice, maybe 2 practices in a day. You doing a lot in one day. You know what I'm saying? Extra work, study hard, whatever. But at the end of the day, that's why you got to go out there and create those memories. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to go create those memories because you're doing all this labor. Why not go out there and make these memories happen? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I say to all like the athletes that's coming in. You're going to be doing a lot of labor. Go create those memories. You know what I mean? Like, don't be afraid to, you know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to take a chance. That's one thing I tell a lot of people. Don't be afraid to take a chance because you'll rob yourself on your own memories.
Yeah. Leaving off memories, your favorite memory in a Rhode Island uniform, you cannot pick the Duquesne buzzer beater.
Favorite memory in a Rhode Island uniform. Man, it might be. There's so many, man. It was definitely the day. I got a picture of it, actually. It was definitely a day when I was standing with Jared and Fats on the scoreboard. And, the confetti was coming down. I don't know if anybody ever watched, Paid in Full, but that's one of my favorite movies. And me and Jared, me and the whole team, we always said lines from that movie. And there's a part in that movie where, they kind of made it, they on top, and it's just confetti. Well, not confetti, it's money coming down, you know what I mean? And he in the days and just remembering things. And that's kind of how I was in that time. And, it kind of takes me back to that movie. And that's one of my favorite movies. So that was actually probably one of my favorite times in the uniform. And then, of course, the Oregon game as well, too. That was another great time. There's a lot of great times in the Rhody uniform. I can't lie. Can't lie. I love Rhody, man. Like, I'm forever grateful for, being able to go to that school because it's like a hidden gem. It's a hidden gem for real. I literally remember, not knowing where Rhode Island was, what Rhode Island was. I didn't know at all. And now it's like my favorite place to go. I'm thinking about coming back there in a couple of weeks, actually.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
No question.
Bernstein, you got any more good Rhode Island questions for him?
More of a general question. What was it about basketball at such a young age? Did you play any other sports, or were you always kind of drawn to basketball?
So that's all I kind of ever knew. Me and my dad, when I grew up, all I can remember is playing my dad one-on-one all the time. And then, after that, got into Boys and Girls Club, had friends there. And then from there, my Boys and Girls Club team, we was nice. So that's kind of what drew me in because we were winning. That was my first sport. We were winning. Winning is a good feeling. And we were doing it like back to back years. We was going crazy. And so I guess I fell in love with it then. But then I played football as well. I was good in that too. But I had so many wins with basketball. It just was like, man, I'm sticking to this. And it just took off from there. And I was just always competitive too. You know, if I see somebody can have success in one thing, that's all I need. All I need to see is it's been done. Once I see it's been done, I know I can do it.
It's almost as if like it's a ripple effect. You know what I mean? You always look up to somebody, and there's always somebody behind you. You know what
Always.
I mean? And when you see somebody succeed in front of you, you understand that, all right, like they had something going for them. Like, why can't I have a little something going for me?
Exactly.
And sometimes like the stars don't always fall in line, but whatever happens in the end is usually what's meant to happen.
Yes. Every time.
And
Every single
that leads into the next part, and that's your transition to becoming a professional basketball player and where you're at now.
Mm-hmm.
What was the process? Rhode Island's over. You guys losing the tournament. You're back at URI, finishing up your degree. What's the next thoughts in your head? What's the process starting to creep up on you like?
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. When that was over, I knew it was league time. I knew it was NBA time, just because I knew what kind of game I had, and how it could fit in the league. But what happened was I had a rough experience with agents. I didn't know how to go about it. I went about it the wrong way. So I ended up getting put on to a bad agent, who didn't put in my NBA. It's called an MBPA agreement, meaning that I can go and work out with teams and things like that. So it never actually went in. It never went in, and I didn't know until like 3 days before like the NBA draft or something like that. And so I didn't know. I didn't know at all. And when I found out, it was too late to work out for teams. But I was like in the best shape, working out, literally doing what I needed to do to be ready for it. And that experience was taken away from me, sadly. But at the end of the day, I still was able to walk on with, not walk on, but play with the G League team.
Mm-hmm.
But when it gets to that pro league, when it gets to the pros, it's literally politics. You got to have a certain contract. You got to have a certain agent. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I held my own in there. They actually picked me up. They loved me. They loved me. The only reason why I got cut simply just because of politics, man. It was nothing athletic. It was just all politics. But I learned a lot there. And I'm forever grateful for going there too, because I learned a lot. Learned a whole lot from a lot of great people. Met a lot of great teammates. My vet actually was Daniel House, who starts for the Houston Rockets.
Yep.
So he was my vet. It was cool. Like he taught me a whole lot. Michael Frazier, who plays for the Rockets, he went to Florida. He that was my guy too, mentor. He was one of my biggest mentors, man. I'm forever grateful for him as well too. Just it was a lot of guys, like a lot of high name guys that I was dealing with when I was in the G League. I did a little time. I actually did a workout in front of Eric Spoelstra with Miami, for the G League team, but Eric Spoelstra actually came to and was loving me. So I was actually supposed to go to the Skyforce for the G League after I did that time with the Rockets. I was actually supposed to go to Miami's G League team, but my grandma was doing some time with the Wizards, their G League team, and I was there for like a month. But what happened was they ended up sending Chiozo down, who's now with the Brooklyn Nets. He started with the Brooklyn Nets, and another guy by the name of Justin Robinson, who went to Virginia Tech. They were on the Wizards team, and so they ended up getting sent down. And so politics played a role again. But I was blessed, to do such a good job that they got me a deal in Mexico. So I was in Mexico actually for I was in there for like a month because then COVID happened, but I was doing real well out there, real well out there, man. And they were excited. I was excited for what was about to happen. And COVID hit. COVID hit. So hey, that was crazy. COVID was crazy, man, how it hit. But COVID was a blessing too, though, because then I got into entrepreneurship as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. that kind of leads me into my next question, actually. So, what you're up to now, being an entrepreneur. COVID hits, and you kind of have to transition your life from being a professional basketball player to being an entrepreneur and starting up your own business. What was that like?
Man, it was amazing. It was amazing. Like a lot of people say 2020 was their worst year. Man, 2020 was my best year. Like it had to be top 5 at least. Um, you know, starting a business. So I actually had a business kind of started when I was dealing with the G League and things like that. I had just kind of started, so I was still in a big learning process. But now when COVID came along, my business was actually moving pretty well. And once COVID came, it was actually a perfect time for my business to flourish, because we teach people how to make money, from their phones by investing in the foreign exchange market. So now what this is, people are having this as a side hustle, and it's becoming a main hustle. It's literally becoming their main income. And now that we having them buying cars, getting out of debt, houses, trips, whatever you can name it, they're getting it. And they're doing it at a young age now. So it's actually, changing a lot of houses dynamics, creating generational wealth for a lot of people now. So that actually took off. And now, I'm actually dealing with way over 100 people all over the world. I'm actually right now at one of my mentees' house that just started with us. So getting her right, training her, it's been amazing, to be honest. Like I encourage everybody, if you don't know about, the new age that's happening, which is the digital age, with cryptocurrency, it's literally the future. So I encourage everybody to really get into that. If you need any help with that, you know where to find me. Instagram, show me love, Stan. Literally all ages. It does not matter. Helping everybody. So
That's awesome, man. And off the court, okay? At Rhode Island, what is your favorite thing to do when you're away from basketball? When you're back here in Kingston.
Kingston, go by the water. Any water spot with a nice little rocks, cliff, nice little scenery. That's where you can find me. That's my jig. I'm there. That's where I'm at. I love, because I'm big in manifestation. I just got into that probably like a year and a half ago, but manifestation is real. So they told me, like, if you're in tune with like the water and the nature and things like that, it'll help strengthen your manifestation. I've learned that is definitely true. So anywhere in the water in Rhode Island, that's where you can find me.
Hell yeah, yo. I'm good. Adam, you got any more in the pocket?
I got like one more question. But overall, thank you again for coming on. But I guess just a question that I like to finish things off with is, what is the best piece of advice that you've ever gotten, or what is some advice that you could give to either athletes, young athletes, or just anyone who's looking to get into entrepreneurship, anything like that?
Yeah, I got something that fit everybody. Never worry about the how, never worry about the when. Right? Never worry about that. We all set goals that we're trying to reach. You gotta understand, like, once you set it, it's there already. It's out there, and it's out there already. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about Tesla, think about Amazon, think about LeBron James, think about what's a fake Tom Brady. Think about all of these things. All of those successes from their stories started in their mind. They had to actually put it in their mind and say, hey, I'm gonna be a famous football athlete. I'm gonna be a famous basketball athlete. I'm gonna start Amazon. I'm gonna start Tesla. Right? It started in their mind. So you gotta understand that it's already out there. Whatever you want to be, whatever you want to do, it's there already. Right? Now, your job is to never worry about the uncontrollables. How and when, they're uncontrollables. Don't worry about how and when. Just know it's gonna happen, and let the steps, the steps that you take are already aligned because you put it out there. So let those steps take you to where you try and go. Don't worry about the how or the when.
There we go, baby. That's Stan the Man Robinson.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining us, Stan. I know I enjoyed it. Bernstein definitely enjoyed it. I guess one thing to add on to it is what's next. You know what I mean? What's next in Stanford Robinson storybook?
Yeah, man. What's next is literally impacting the world. With what we got going on, as far as teaching people how to make an extra stream of income from their phone that is becoming a lot of people's mainstream of income. Getting people more aware on what's going on out here as far as like financial literacy. And then as far as basketball is, I'm going back to Mexico, locked in over there already, talked to them. So we're good over there. I'm going back in March. I'm just going to go there to try to get some film at the PG spot. And then I'm just going to come back over and get back into the G League and then go back to the, NBA dreams while I have a 7-8 figure business running on its own.
Mm-hmm. So I love to hear, yo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm expecting to, hear great things about Rhody Rumble, man. I'm expecting to hear great things, man. How long you guys been doing it?
Shit.
A couple months now, probably the first semester.
Months.
I think we started talking about it in like April or May, and then it kind of just took a little bit to get the ball rolling, and then eventually when we found out that we were coming back to school, we were like, all right, like, let's get it started. Once Adam got back to Rhode Island, hung out at my house one day, we just recorded the intro episode, and we just kind of let the ball roll, you know what I mean?
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. And look, just right there, bro. How did it start? It was a conversation, right? I started with a conversation. It was in the mind first. Mm-hmm. Now look, you know what I'm saying? You got the next biggest thing coming out of Rhode Island.
Right in Montana's basement. That's where it all began.
Exactly.
I was trapping out the basement.
Dude,
hey, look, a lot of success stories come from the basement.
We don't even have no desk, nothing in the basement. We were just sitting on the floor. Sitting on the floor in the basement. So I turned my basement to like a gym, like a home gym. And so basically it's just all gym equipment, like my entire basement, and then just us sitting right in the middle of the floor.
Yeah, man. That's how it is. Trap right out the basement, man. I'm telling you. That basement trap different, man. I'm telling you, watch. Just keep going with it, man. Like, keep going with it. Keep creating ideas, speak things out there into the world. Keep going with it, man. And watch it be the biggest thing coming out of it. Right out of the basement.
Well, hey, yo. That's the advice that we want to hear, baby. We like that.
Yes, sir.
That's it, yo. Rhody Rumble, episode 8 in the books. Stan Robinson, Adam Bernstein, Montana Friselli. And thank you for everybody for listening.
Thank you again.
Next week.
Thanks for coming on again. Appreciate it.
Man, no problem at all, man. Hey, look, man, I see you guys around the corner because we all up, man.
Oh, yeah.
And the 24th ranked team in the country survives. Stanford Robinson. That's exactly who Tim McCormick said they should go to.
I do what I want. Lately been spinning a bag. Addicted to getting that cash. Addicted to popping them tags. Money was made for the sad. Now my ex bitch calling